dead wolves for the Wolf Guard and for PETA. Time for another Geiger update. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, a Geiger off. So if you haven't seen my first video, Sam at Empress Path and Jamie at TheRoute are having a Geiger off. The community is getting involved, and the idea is to convert up the Geigor Fell-Handed model. So what you see in front of you is a standard Geiger, no conversions. Basically I've just glued him together. I've got two of these models, so I've got done one as standard just so you can see him, and I've also got my conversion which I've half complete. I'm going to show you the work that I've done on that in a second. But first of all, I really want to say, wow, this model is absolutely awesome. The detail is just outstanding. What can be achieved with plastic these days is just absolutely amazing. So thumbs up and well done to Games Workshop. I mean, this model is absolutely fantastic. Now I know a lot of people sort of say they don't like the head. I have to be honest, I like the head. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Now what you have to bear in mind is that my army, my Space Wolves, I built sort of over 10 years ago, where you only had a choice of probably 2 or 3 Space Wolves heads, and they weren't particularly great sculpts. So this is a huge step up from the quality that I'm used to. Although I do like the head quite a lot, there is one thing that I'm not actually that keen on, and that's the bolt gun, which is supposed to just sort of hang down on his waist. I think it spoils the dynamic side of it a little bit, so I have decided to leave that off, and indeed on my conversion that I've done I have also left this bolt gun off. It just doesn't do it for me, but apart from that I really love the model. But either way, I'm just going to spin him around just very quickly so you can quickly just take a look at him. So that is how he looks as standard. Right, so let's bring in the conversion work that I've been doing. Okay, so there, I'll just leave him in there. That's what I've done so far. So as you know, I've got my army is the 13th company, so I've had to rejig some of the armour. So my starting point was to put a chaos leg on him at the bottom. This gave me the opportunity to totally change his pose. So I actually have him standing on that right leg, as opposed to the original model was on the left leg there. So that instantly gave me a bit of a change up, and if I spin him round, you can see I've tried to angle it so that his left leg is like right up in the air. Really try to get this guy to look like he's running, and I think I managed to achieve that. The claw, as you can see, is also in a slightly different position, so I cut off the little join where it's supposed to go, so it gives me a bit more pivoting. I also re-angled the flat area where it actually joins the model, so I was able to get it in a slightly different position. I wanted it in a more lower position just to emphasize the fact that he's running a little bit more. So yeah, I did that. And then I gave him, as you can see, just a normal shoulder pad. And the reason I did that is because A, I think it will match my army a little bit more, and B, because I always freehand my 13th company symbol onto the shoulder pad. So I think that was just a good reason to do it. Now, as you can see, I've left his head off. I'm going to come back to that in a second. I have also put on the backpack, and as you can probably see, he has an additional dead wolf. Now this is only blue tacked on at the moment, because I figured it's going to be easier to put it on after it's painted. But this recent PETA thing that's just been happening about fur on Games Workshop models, dead animals on their models, that's done nothing but want me to put more dead animals on my models. So PETA, however it's said, that wolf on the top there, that's just for you guys. And as I said, I've actually blue tacked this on, so let me just show you the work that I did. So I had a wolf pelt, which I'd already cut this off in the previous sort of conversions that I did, and then went in and I filed down this using my circular file just to give me a circle sort of join here, so that when I glue it, I can actually glue it directly onto this circular bar, and it's just going to fit on there really nicely. I'm just going to have it sort of going backwards, so that again it helps give that appearance that he is actually running. Of course, these are only blue tack to the base there. I'm just going to obviously pin him in the future. So head options, let's quickly talk about that before I go on to the main piece of conversion that I want to do. Head conversions, so I had the idea, although I really like that Space Wolf head, I'm thinking I do really want to change him up a little bit from Geigor, and also I need to get probably a bit more chaos stuff on there. So I was thinking of maybe putting a chaos head, and I have a couple of options. I have it's going to be really difficult on camera, I think. Let's see if I can get this bit of blue tack. Right, so I have a sort of... Now I'm going to have to cut this off because there's no hole here. This is just a flat section. But one option would be sort of that traditional chaos head, like that. And the other option, I found this pretty cool head in my bits box. And if I can just get some blue tack on it, let me just show you. Oop, not the camera. Right, now this has got a funny angle on it, but you get the idea. I have no idea what head that here is. If you know, let me know. But that looks pretty cool. It looks pretty mean. I'm not 100% convinced by that, but let me know what you think. One of those two heads, or should I stick with the original Space Wolf head, the Geigor head, which, you know, I actually like I said. So those are the options. Right, and then we come on to the main and probably the biggest conversion. You can probably see it doesn't currently have a right hand. So I'm just going to go back to when I was doing my Year of the Wolf project, and I had a comment on that project by the great Commissar Gamza. Yes, Mr. Gamza, Commissar Gamza. He commented and he said one of your Space Wolves should be holding a Badin's sword. And I thought that was a really good idea, and I knew that in my bits box I had an Abaddon sword, because I ordered it from the catalogue to use with my Space Wolves, and when it arrived I thought, oh no, it's far too big. I didn't know it was a Abaddon sword at the time, so I put it in my bits box. But when Commissar Gamza said, yeah, one of your wolves should have like slain, or at least fought Abaddon and got the sword, and I thought, what a better model to have done that than Geigor. Now I don't know if it's fluff true or not, but I thought, how cool would it be if this guy here was holding a Abaddon sword? So I got my Abaddon sword out. So this is the Abaddon sword. Of course, it's an old metal one. I have filed this down so far. The only issue that I have is that it is a left hand. Now I really wanted to have this claw in there just because it's such a cool looking claw. So I'm going to have to put it to his right hand. Now this is his actual right hand, his normal right hand as such, and yeah, my idea would be to cut out this hand so I'd have a top section and a bottom section of the sword, and then cut this sword off at the top and bottom and pin it. But this arm just looks so weak and flimsy, I think it's going to be quite difficult to pin. So I had a search around for maybe something a little bit more substantial, and this is what I found. Found this. Hopefully this is focusing. So yeah, I've got a Chaos Axe sort of arm, and I think this is a bit more substantial here with this big fist. So if I cut the top and bottom of this, I'm going to drill a hole through the hand. Then, like I said, I'm going to cut the top and bottom of this. I'm going to have to be very careful, do a little bit of filing and cleaning up, but then put a pin in the top of that and a pin in the bottom, and effectively get this sword in between there, so he's holding it in his hand. And then the plan is to have him holding this sword probably something like this, up in the air. So he's running along with his sword in the air. He's just fought and won a Abaddon sword in some sort of battle, and now he's charging on to the next battle. I think it'd be pretty cool, but let me know what you think in the comments box below. So that's how far I've got on my Geigor conversion. If you're entering this, don't forget to hashtag GEIGOROFF, could be Geigor I suppose, hashtag GEIGOROFF, and let's have a look at everyone's conversions and everyone's work with this really awesome model. Okay, that's it from me. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.